Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, this was sent to me and I was just like, wow, all right. So I want you to just be open-minded for just a second, because this is kind of weird and cool at the same time. Have you ever heard of ionocaloric cooling? Me either. It's a new way to lower the mercury that has the potential to replace existing methods with something that is safer and friendlier to the planet. That's what I'm reading. So listen. Typical refrigeration systems transport heat away from a space via a gas that cools as it expands some distance away. And as effective as this process is, some of the choice gases we use are also particularly unfriendly to the environment. I know what you're thinking, but just listen. There is, however, more than one way a substance can be forced to absorb and shed heat energy. There's a new method that has been developed by researchers, and this takes advantage of the way that energy is stored or released when a material changes phase, as when solid ice turns to liquid water, for example. Now raise the temperature on a block of ice. What will happen to a block of ice when you raise the temperature? It melts. What we might not see so easily is that melting absorbs heat from its surroundings, effectively cooling it. Now, one way to force ice to melt without needing to turn up the heat is to add charged particles or ions. Putting salt on the roads to prevent ice from forming is a common example of this action. So for those of us that live up north, what do they always do in order to stop us from being able to drive on icy roads? They lay salt, right? Okay, so this ionocaloric cycle, and that's one word, IONOCALORIC, okay, also uses salt to change a fluid's phase and cool its surroundings. Now, the landscape of refrigerants is an unsolved problem. No one has successfully developed an alternative solution that makes stuff cold, works efficiently, is safe, and does not hurt the environment. Now, we think of this ionocaloric cycle has the potential to meet all the goals if realized appropriately. And researchers modeled the theory of the ionocaloric cycle to show how it could potentially compete with or even improve upon the efficiency of refrigerants in use today. A current running through the system would move the ions in it, shifting in the material's melting point to change temperature. Here's kind of like a little GIF, a GIF, to show what I was just saying. Now, as I'm looking into this, these systems could also be used for heating as well as cooling, okay? And I think this could be really neat. I mean, you know, it's going to be probably a very long time before this could even roll out. Would it be expensive? I'm sure. But this could be actually pretty cool, I think. You know, this might be something that would save us a lot of money on our electric bills. You know, I have this little mini fridge in my room, and actually I wanted to bring it to your attention anyway, because you can't fit a lot in there. You can only fit like 6 cans of soda in there, or 6, you know, whatever, you know, little things in there. But it doesn't just plug into the wall. It also has something like to plug into like a car charger. You could put it, you know, plug it into like a solar, you know, the oh gosh, that's terrible. A solar power bank, excuse me. Oh my gosh, it's late. And you know, this would be something that would be very good to have in your preps, in case of a grid down, especially for those that are insulin dependent. And you know, my husband had bought it from and I'll leave the link in the description box below. It was $50, and he got it from a company called A Touch of Modern. It's an online company, and he bought one for us, and he bought one for Andrew and Jesse. And it's really, really cool. And this thing, it doesn't just act as a refrigerator. You can also use it to heat up things as well. So, you know, say you're you know, like you have a cup of coffee and you have to run out, you could put your cup of coffee or your cup of tea in there, and say you don't have a microwave, okay, you can flip the switch to heat instead of cool, and it'll keep your coffee or your tea warm or hot. Yeah, it's extremely interesting. I love this darn thing, and it's small. It's maybe a foot high, and maybe, I want to say 10 inches deep, like that. And it's the coolest thing you've ever seen. Let me see if I can find a picture of it for you. Hang on. Okay, here it is. This one is not the same as mine, but it's similar, and it's a little bit bigger, because mine only holds like 6 cans of, you know, seltzer or soda, but this one holds 12, and mine was 50, but this one is $82.99. But you do get like you know, your first purchase, a certain number, a certain amount of money off and stuff like that. But it's really neat, and it's well worth buying, especially if you have meds that have to stay cool and stuff like that. Okay. All right, guys, that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.